The views and opinions on this show do not necessarily reflect the views of ESPN Tucson 1490 AM, 94.9 HD Channel 4, or the Arizona Lotus Corporation.
Welcome to Spears and Ali on ESPN Tucson.
Justin Spears, I like that.
With Justin Spears and Ali Farhang on 1490 AM, 94.9 HD Channel 4, ESPN Tucson. Brought to you by Tucson Federal Credit Union, the Volpe team at Nova Home Loans, and Rightway Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
I want to be entertaining, but I'm not stupid enough to compare myself to Ali.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday. You're listening to Spears and Ali here on ESPN Tucson, 1490 AM. We're streaming live on ESPNTucson.com and the ESPN Tucson mobile app. I'm your host, Justin Spears. Here's my good buddy, Ali Farhang, and our great producer, Andrew Trujillo. If you want to call in, feel free to hit us up, 719-1490, 719-1490. And then once you call in, you'll meet our amazing traffic reporter and also a phone screener, Elaine Bronson, as well.
Yep.
We got a cool team here on ESPN Tucson.
Very pleasant, Elaine.
Very professional.
Sure.
She's a pro's pro, and she's awesome. We're very thankful to have her a part of our team. Very thankful for everyone here on Spears and Ali, and we're very appreciative of you guys for listening to us from 7 to 9 a.m. And if you want to continue to support us, make sure you go to the Spears and Ali podcast on Apple, Spotify. Give us a 5-star review. Leave us some nice comments, and also check us out on the Spears and Ali YouTube channel today. Subscribe to our channel and check out the video version of our podcast where we have some pretty cool clips as well. We're going to have a fun show today. We're going to talk to Arizona basketball great Corey Williams about his Tucson Summer Pro League.
Saw Corey yesterday.
Yeah?
Yeah. We had a little funny exchange at the Culinary Dropout. He was with a couple of guys. I was meeting somebody, and Aaron Rodgers was on TV, and he started giving me some guff about Aaron Rodgers.
Oh.
So I talked to my waiter, and I'm like, listen, see that guy over there? I need you to go over there and say, hey, you know what? I heard Dak Prescott's just a new father. His wife just delivered a baby, and it was intercepted in the waiting room.
Oh, my gosh.
My guy did it.
That's amazing.
My guy did it.
That's amazing.
He got a good tip.
I hope so.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're going to get the one of the biggest Cowboys fans that I know in Corey Williams to come on the show at 8:40. Maybe we'll talk to him more about the Cowboys. But I do want to talk to him about the Tucson Summer Pro League and the evolution of his league. Now it's only just kids. And Corey and his staff at the Tucson Summer Pro League, I've been thankful. I am thankful to have had a part of that for several years. And it's been really one of the biggest blessings I've had in my life. And I always enjoyed my time going down to the Tucson Summer Pro League and helping out my guy, Corey. And they do such great work in Tucson, Arizona, and they have a connection with the Pascua Yaqui tribe. They have kids from the reservation come on out every Saturday and Sunday and help out with the league. So Corey Williams is doing some great stuff. And on top of that, I think there's also like an NIL component to the Tucson Summer Pro League too. Last year, we saw guys like Caleb Love and Jaden Bradley and some of the other big names with Arizona basketball come out and coach the kids, which I think is really cool. Like, you're a 10, 11-year-old in Tucson, Arizona, and your head coach is Caleb Love, the shooting guard for the Arizona Wildcats. I think that's pretty cool. And so, yeah, we'll talk about the Tucson Summer Pro League and all the cool things that Corey's doing. Plus, we'll also talk about the NBA Finals with him and get his thoughts on that series, which continues today. We got the Indiana Pacers versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. We'll continue to talk more about that matchup all throughout the show. And then at 8:25, because Arizona baseball is in Omaha for the College World Series.
Where are they?
No.
They're in Omaha, Nebraska.
Thank you. Why, Andrew? Why?
Why what?
Yeah, you know what you're doing.
He teed me up
Yeah.
for the Omaha call
Omaha.
by Peyton Manning.
Good steaks.
I just forgot where they were.
Great steaks. Yeah. Omaha steaks are the best. But yeah, Mesa White will be joining the show at 8:25. I thought we were going to get Chip Hale on the show on this beautiful Wednesday morning, but instead we got the star player for the Arizona Wildcats, who's got a great story. He's from Tucson, Arizona, wasn't a highly touted recruit. Chip Hale and the Arizona Wildcats took a chance on this great player, and now here he is a few years later as one of the best second basemen in program history. Definitely one of the best hitters. number 2 in career home runs.
He's
So
one of the best players overall.
absolutely,
So
I'm excited to talk to Mason White.
It's going to work. It's going to work. But we've been on a good run with our interviews with Arizona baseball leading to success. So you're welcome, all you Arizona fans, about Spears and Ali, the little juju boost that we give. Kind of want a chip today. I hope it's
It's not a bad omen.
I don't want to talk about it. I want to talk about it, but
don't manifest it.
Yeah. But man, this team can't wait for Friday. And this Final 8, very cool grouping in Omaha. Really like the story of Murray State.
Yeah.
Right. It's got a ballpark that seats 800 and their coach mows the grass. And they're in Omaha, one of the Final 8 teams. Cool. I think that is very cool.
Think about the dichotomy between LSU and a program like Murray State, where Jay Johnson is making just under $1.2 million per season and has this great facility, great resources in Baton Rouge. And then you got Murray State, which has a stadium that sits 800 people and their coach cuts the grass. LSU has a full-fledged grounds crew that takes care of their stadium, and then meanwhile the grounds crew at Murray State involves the head coach. It's amazing.
It is incredible. It's incredible.
So it makes college sports so fascinating. And so I'm excited for the College World Series. Like Ali said, it gets started on Friday. We'll see Arizona versus Coastal Carolina at 11 a.m. And man, what a tough draw for Arizona, because Coastal Carolina, I mean, the more you look into this team, the more they resemble North Carolina. Great pitching, number 2 ERA in all of college baseball. And I didn't know this until early yesterday morning, man. But Coastal Carolina, they go into this game with a 23-game winning streak.
They're good, man.
They're red hot.
And they're hot. And it's going to be a immovable force versus what am I talking about?
Immovable object versus the unstoppable force.
Exactly. That's what it's like. I mean, these two teams mirror each other in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
As far as the grit factor. So, everybody's got a hard draw.
Yeah.
I mean, these are the 8 best teams in America right now. And I think it's going to be a great College World Series. It's going to be fun to watch.
And I've seen, some people.
And there'll be only one, and there's only 2 SEC teams in there. So
it's great.
Yeah. Out of 13.
More Pac-12 teams.
More Pac-12 teams. Yeah.
And speaking of which, I think it's cool to, if Arizona does win the national championship, the potential path that they would have to get there. You play against Coastal Carolina, the team that beat you in the 2016 national championship, which was a very tough series. Arizona won the first game and dropped the last 2. And then you could potentially face Oregon State, a team that you played for so many years in the Pac-12. And correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't the final home series of the season last year against Oregon State when Arizona won the Pac-12 regular season championship?
They beat Oregon State to win the Pac-12 regular season.
So you have that potential.
I would have loved to correct you that you were wrong, but you're not. You're right.
And then potentially going up against what many are calling Cobra Kai and the LSU Tigers led by Jay Johnson, the former Arizona head baseball coach. So juicy storylines all across Omaha for the College World Series for Arizona. And also shout out to Arizona baseball pitchers Owen Kramkowski and Smith Bailey, the superstar freshman. Both of those guys are going to be participating in the Team USA Baseball National Collegiate Prospects Camp.
Very cool.
So getting some love from Team USA Baseball. Those guys are doing some big time things. And now we're talking about Arizona baseball in the College World Series in June. It's a special time to follow Arizona baseball and be a fan of the Arizona Wildcats.
As we are.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're such a.
I say with a grin.
You're a dork. It's just such a dork.
All right. What do you guys think about Arizona baseball? 719-1490, 719-1490. You're not the first person to call me a dork.
No, but it's because if it walks like a dork and it looks like a dork and it says I'm not a fan, it's a dork.
Also, huge thanks to our amazing sponsors, 719-1490, 719-1490. Oh, wait. I said the phone number. Well,
that's also, it's not sponsored, but give it a call.
Yeah.
Man, I need my coffee. I haven't had coffee this morning. But anyways, give us a
You
call.
don't say bear down.
Huge thank you to our sponsors, the Volpe team at Nova Home Loans, Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, and Tucson Federal Credit Union. Yeah, those are our sponsors.
Those are our sponsors.
Not the studio line.
And ironically, also think you're a dork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard Paul Volpe call me that.
Paul Volpe, yeah, definitely. Kevin and Clarissa, Hugh, they're like, man, that was great. You guys have a great show. Justin's a dork.
That guy's a dork.
And my guy Gaspari at Tucson Federal Credit Union and his great team. Every time I get on a call with him, we actually start with Justin's a dork. It's kind of like our greeting. So, yeah.
I just can't wait for that day where Justin finally throws off that mantle of being the beat reporter. He's like, hey, guys, I'm a fan now. And everyone just gives him a thumbs up. Like, yeah, we know.
Cool, man.
Yeah. It's like, too late. You can't be a fan. That's when we'll fight it. No, we don't want you anymore.
Yeah.
The bandwagon is full.
Yeah. You spent 20 years not being a fan. What's wrong with you?
He spent 20 years being a fan, saying he's not a fan, and
exactly.
being very stubborn about saying he's not a fan when he's really a fan.
Yeah.
Because, he grew up in this town.
Yeah.
University of Arizona is near and dear to his heart. He knows every stat from before he was born.
Yeah.
He can pronounce. He's doing all quarter century teams of the Arizona football team.
Yeah, baby.
Remembers games in 1993. Oh yeah, remember in the non-conference Arizona basketball played this team and this happened. He knows all that stuff and yet not a fan.
Yeah.
Dork.
He's like the guy who watches Keeping Up with the Kardashians and like in private when no one else is home.
Right.
Season 20.
What did Courtney do? I mean, I don't care.
Right.
I definitely don't know that they have 22 seasons. Don't know that.
Yeah.
I like the Kardashians, man. Anyways, all right. In other news here in Tucson, Arizona, we talked yesterday about Arizona softball adding a few prospects. Really excited about Serenity Trice, the addition from Iowa State, who's going to be at second base alongside Taylor Beal, the all-star shortstop, and also Jenna Sniffen, who was a great third baseman in her first year at Arizona. So Serenity coming back over to the West Coast. She's originally from San Diego. And I mean, as a freshman at Iowa State this past season, she became an all Big 12 freshman team selection. So
That's
she's
cool.
Really good player that's coming to Arizona. And
She have sisters, Chastity, and the little bigger one, Obesity.
Yeah. Obesity, Chastity, and Serenity. Trice.
Yeah.
Real names.
But
no
very
gimmicks.
giving and philanthropic. So sometimes they mistakenly call her Charity.
Obesity.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
Philanthropy.
Canopy. All right. Other Arizona Wildcats related news.
Lakers in 5.
Lakers at 5. Serenity, Canopy, Chastity, Lakers at 5. Other Arizona basketball or Arizona Wildcats related news. Arizona basketball forward Carter Bryant was invited to the green room at the NBA draft.
Does that mean he's got a guarantee of a top 10 like someone has been talking about?
Usually when you go to the green room, you got a guarantee from a certain team.
Top 10.
Or teams.
He's going to be in the lottery.
Plural.
This tells me he's going to be in the lottery.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you're not getting the invitation to the green room unless there's a for sure thing going to happen. Now, of course, like we saw guys like, I know it's different because it's the NFL draft, but Lamar Jackson went to the green room and he wasn't picked up until the very last pick. We saw guys that went to the green room in the NFL draft this year, and they weren't taken until day 2. There was a guy that went to the NFL draft for day 3. He was like drafted in the 5th or 6th round.
Yeah.
And they actually brought him out on stage, which I thought was really cool. But yeah, in the NBA, when you only have 2 rounds and there's only, a certain amount of picks, usually if you get that invitation to the green room, that's a sign that you're going to be picked up very early, maybe in that top 14.
Yeah, I mean, nobody wants to go there and be like, oh, here comes the camera panning back to this guy with sad face. So if you're going to go, and NFL's getting better about this too, right? It's either you have a pretty good feeling you're going to the first round of the NFL. In the NBA, if you go to the green room, you got a pretty good idea, or you got some team telling you if you're there at whatever pick in the lottery, we're taking you.
Yeah.
So I expect Carter Bryant to go somewhere between 8 and 14, and I'm happy for him. And to me, going to the NBA, if you're going to go between 8 and 14, probably a good decision.
Is there a team that you would love to see Carter Bryant play for?
Just a good organization, because
Yeah.
I want Carter Bryant to be successful. So I don't know. I mean,
Is there any
San
possibility?
Antonio.
And that's the thing, is San Antonio is up there as well, but San Antonio has also been linked to making a trade for Kevin Durant.
Yeah, but they're not going to give up. They're not going to give up like this. They've had, what did they have, the second pick in the draft?
San Antonio?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I think they have a top 10 pick.
Yeah, they're not going to trade that pick for Kevin Durant. The Suns are not going to get nearly what they think they're going to get for Kevin Durant. It's not. It's going to be a
Hell no.
No. It's not going to. That's not going to happen.
And they do have the number 2 pick in the draft as well.
I think they have another pick in the first round as well later on, but maybe I'm wrong. But they're not giving up the number 2 pick.
No, number 14.
Yeah,
number 14. And according to ESPN's latest mock draft, they've got Carter Bryant going number 14 overall to San Antonio.
So I don't even think they'll give up. I don't think they'll give up a first round pick this year for Kevin Durant if that trade is going to happen. Kevin Durant's going to get like a player and 1 pick in the future. That's basically kind of, I think, the value. So we'll see, but it's going to be a crazy offseason for NBA, according to Brian Windhorst and a lot of other pundits, that this is going to be one of the crazier topsy-turvy off seasons in NBA history. And it's going to all happen around the draft, according to Mr. Windhorst.
Yeah. And he said,
he's a very nice guy.
Windhorst?
Yeah.
Wendy's awesome.
Dubai. Yeah.
And Wendy said that Shams Charania is clearing out his schedule for this offseason. So buckle up. It's going to be a fun NBA offseason with lots of storylines, as we all appreciate here on Spears and Ali. But as far as, Carter Bryant goes as an NBA player, I love I love the idea of his career kind of in like the Andre Iguodala territory. Like, I think he's going to have a career that's going to last at least 15 years.
Yeah, starting as a better shooter than Andre, but he's got all the tools. He's just got to develop a couple parts of his game. He can do that. He does that in the NBA, maybe some G League.
Yeah.
But he's got all the tools, man. He could be a very good. Somebody gave him a comp of Anunoby from the Knicks.
OG
Anunoby. Yeah. And I was like, I can see that. That's a good comp.
Yeah, Carter Bryant, I think, is going to have a great NBA career. And, whether he turns into a star or not, I think the fact that he was willing to come off the bench, was mature, and kept his head down and developed over the course of the year, I think that bodes well for his NBA career and his journey. All right, what do you guys think about Carter Bryant getting invited to the NBA draft green room? How do you feel about him going to the NBA? Do you think that he's going to be a big-time prospect? If you want to talk about Carter Bryant, if you want to talk about Arizona baseball, or if you just want to talk about whatever it is that is on your mind, hit us up, 719-1490, 719-1490. Coming up later on this hour, we've got our good buddy Eric Cohen from CBS Sports and also Wildcat Country. We're going to talk some sports gambling. We're going to get his thoughts on the U.S. Open, who are some of the favorites to win that event this weekend at Oakmont Country Club. And then we're also going to talk about NBA Finals and College World Series. So should be a fun conversation with Eric. That will be at 7:40. But coming up next, we're going to talk about the Phoenix Suns introducing new head coach Jordan Knott, and also get a preview of the big NBA Finals matchup tonight between the Pacers and the Thunder. Stay tuned. Starting this upcoming Monday, ESPN Tucson is bringing you the Summer of Fun. Every week, we're giving you a chance to win a different destination vacation for you and someone else. This year, we're giving you guys a trip to Maui, Iceland, Japan, Portugal, and more. The first trip, starting this upcoming week, is to Venice, Italy, where you can enjoy gondola rides, great pasta, Prosecco, and other things among or beneath the Venetian skies. Gosh, whoever wrote this sucks.
And candles.
And
candles.
There's candles, baby.
I didn't know if you were aware of this, but in Venice they have a special dish called a candlelit pasta.
Yeah,
yeah. It's a little waxy, but supposedly really good.
I'm gonna change up this script because it's just bad.
Yeah,
just very bad.
Just gotta make it better, man. Just make it better.
Anyways, listen on weekdays between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. for the keyword of the day. And then once you hear the keyword, text it to 520-719-1490 for your chance to qualify for that week's trip. And then if you win and you can't go, you could win $3,000 instead. Get all the information and details by going to espntucson.com.
Yeah, I want to go to Portugal.
Portugal
That's
sounds
one of the
fun.
places I want to go. I want to go to Portugal for sure.
Go see a football game?
Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard Lisbon's really nice.
All right, before we talk about the NBA Finals matchup tonight between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers, let's talk about the new Phoenix Suns head coach. Andrew, if you could pull up this clip here. Yesterday, the Suns officially introduced new head coach Jordan Ott, and he's a very interesting guy because he's young. He hasn't been a head coach before. And I honestly, as much as like we criticize Matt Ishbia and maybe the Michigan State nepotism that they have going on here, and Jordan Ott is a Michigan State guy, I think there is something to be said about how they're kind of going against the grain a little bit compared to their last head coaches, right? Because they hired Frank Vogel, they hired Mike Budenholzer. Those guys were retreads, right? They're guys who were head coaches before they got to Phoenix. The last two guys didn't work. Maybe they shouldn't have gotten longer leashes, but the last two coaches were retreads. It didn't work out. This guy in Jordan Ott, younger guy who's grinded his way through the NBA ranks over the last decade plus. He started out as a video coordinator, then became assistants under Kenny Atkinson with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and then he was also with the Brooklyn Nets as well. Worked with Steve Nash, worked with Jacques Vaughn. So he's been an assistant. And when I hear video coordinator background, it gives me Eric Spoelstra vibes. Eric Spoelstra was the guy who started out as a video coordinator and was cutting teeth and worked his way up. And Jordan Ott talked about his philosophy as a head coach now that he's taken over the Phoenix Suns. Listen to this.
Moving that 12 inches over is different. But I'm always going to bank on who I am as a person. That hasn't changed. I think if you ask around the people that I've been around, we're going to demand that you work. That's where it's going to start. I want them to know and believe that I'm going to help them. We, this place, we're going to help them. We're going to help them at every phase of their game. We're going to help develop them, get to a new level that they didn't think they could get to. And it's going to take all of us. And then it's tough. It's tough to play in the NBA. And I want them to know when they're out there playing that we're together. Not only your teammates, but us as coaches, all the support staff, we're all here to find solutions. And then after the game, we'll talk about it, evaluate it, get to the next.
Oh my gosh. You mentioned, I wonder if he's from Pennsylvania. Not only is he from Pennsylvania, but his hometown, you're going to like this, Ali, McConnellsburg.
Yeah.
He's from McConnellsburg, Pennsylvania. And I know it's not named after T.J. McConnell, but yeah, McConnellsburg, Pennsylvania, went to McConnellsburg High School, went to Penn State for his undergrad, and then got his master's at Michigan State.
So there's like I don't know if McConnellsburg is near Pittsburgh on the western side of Pennsylvania, but there's a cadence and a way of speaking that I would say that McConnellsburg is western Pennsylvania.
100%.
So the fact that I can recognize that
by eyes and the cadence of the voice.
I know. Somebody was like some family friends are in Pittsburgh right now. They're going to the US Open, and they're like hitting me up for like recommendations like I'm from there. But I know I'm like, yeah, you got to go to do this, got to do this.
It is McConnellsburg is like middle south of Pennsylvania.
Middle south. So like Pittsburgh's on the western side, Philadelphia's on the eastern side, and is separated by Alabama. That's what people say about Pennsylvania.
It's just
so he's in Alabama. He's a little bit in like Birmingham, Alabama, Pennsylvania. Anyway, there is a cadence and a way of speaking. This guy epitomizes kind of the western Pennsylvania.
And I'm willing to give this guy a shot. I know that he hasn't been a head coach before, but man, he's been one of the top assistants in the NBA now for the last decade. Was a great assistant under Kenny Atkinson with the Cleveland Cavaliers last year, and I think that this guy might actually work out for the Phoenix Suns. Now, with that being said, how's his roster going to look like in year one? Right now, with Kevin Durant being shopped around, he's most likely going to be traded. Bradley Beal's got a no trade clause on his contract, and then
and he's good
and he's chilling.
He's like, yeah, I'm good here in Phoenix.
Yeah.
No, I don't have to play. That's cool.
Yeah.
What am I getting? 40 million? Yeah, you can sit me on the bench.
Yeah,
I'm good.
And then you got Devin Booker, who's been the star player, the franchise cornerstone ever since he was drafted in 2015. And Book is now the all-time leading scorer in Phoenix Suns history, and now he's going into the prime of his career. He's in his late 20s, and Jordan Knott was very familiar with Devin Booker during the NBA draft process, and he's very excited to coach Book. Listen to what Jordan Knott had to say about meeting Devin Booker for the first time.
So, yeah, I'll tell you a little story about Devin. 1-on-0 workout in a draft workout. Again, it was just coach, player, rebounder, and I can remember how he communicated and competed with himself in a 1-on-0 workout. And we left that workout knowing that he was different. And then to see how early he had success in his career, of course from afar, but bubble to 2021 season to take this team to the finals, and all the great things that he's accomplished so early in his career, being a all-time leading scorer. And he's in his prime, ready to rock. And again, we need to help him. And that's my job as the coach, to help him in multiple areas, help him find solutions, so he knows that he has us behind him. Make or miss, end the game on the line, make or miss, we're behind him.
Our ESPN Tucson listeners on 1490 AM, they can't see it, but my goodness, you are spot on with the Sean Miller comparison. Just look at Jordan Knott talk and then compare it to Sean Miller. It's mirrors.
If you did a side-by-side, you'd be like, he's a Miller. Like there's Sean, there's Archie, and there's Jordan.
Yeah.
And it's always like the raise the eyebrow and kind of look at you with those intense eyes when I'm making a point and I want you to agree with it, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I love Sean Miller, but it is a total Western Pennsylvania thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I do know.
Right. That's and when he speaks like that, it definitely looks like Western Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
I have that image in my head of him talking about how much of a beast Chase Claypool is.
Yeah.
From it was the COVID year, like 2020, 2021.
Remember how good he started and they started calling him Mapletron because he's from Canada?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now he's like not playing.
And George Pickens is going to be the next guy.
Yeah.
The Steelers know something. They always know something about star wide receivers before they cut them loose.
Usually doesn't work out for the other team.
Dallas Cowboys, it's up to you now.
Yeah.
All right, now moving on to
What a harrowing sentence.
No.
So now moving on to the NBA Finals. Tonight we have Game 3 between the Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder. This series is locked up 1 apiece. After the Michael Myers Indiana Pacers won Game 1 after being down and then rallying back, they only led for 0.3 seconds of that game, and it was because of the game winner of Tyrese Halliburton there late in that contest. But then OKC bounced back, and they made sure that once they got the lead in Game 2, they weren't giving it up. They came out, had a nice bounce back game. Now going into Game 3 tonight, the Oklahoma City Thunder, they are favored by 5.5 points in Indiana. It's a tough line. I have a feeling OKC is going to come out and smack them a little bit, but then again, it's in Indiana. The Pacers are playing some damn good basketball right now. One of the biggest surprises in NBA Finals history. Like, I know I'm not trying to discredit them or minimize what they are doing, but like, if you were to tell me at the start of the playoffs, out of all the teams from the Eastern Conference, who do you expect to be in the NBA Finals? Indiana Pacers probably would have been 5th or 6th on that list.
Yeah.
And now
we definitely underrated them for sure. It's a good team. It's a good team, but it's a tough task with Oklahoma City because, I mean, the one thing that no matter how they're shooting, what they're doing on the offensive end, they're going to bring their defense.
Yeah.
So it's going to be tough sledding for Indiana no matter what. I mean, if you think the NBA is scripted, Indiana's going to win tonight.
And the Pacers, they haven't lost back-to-back games in 3 months.
Yeah.
So usually after losses, they bounce back.
All I know is the bet tonight for me is, and this is not my weekend winners because I am undefeated with those. I'll give that to you on Friday. With all the talk of Tyrese Halliburton needing to be more aggressive, I think that's not just from the outside. That's coming from Rick Carlisle, which I've got an interesting factoid about Rick Carlisle and the coaching staff telling him, I think you're going to see Tyrese Halliburton be aggressive from the beginning of the game. He's going to get his shots up. And so my bets are all on him to score over 17.5 tonight. I got plus 100 when I did it 2 days ago. I don't know where it's at now, but we'll take a look later. Rick Carlisle How old do you think he is?
I say Rick Carlisle, maybe 60.
So do you know that he's 65? You don't need to look it up. Rick
He's
Carlisle,
65, guys.
yeah, thank you, is the oldest coach to coach in the NBA Finals. He's got
Not Greg Popovich.
He's got popped by 80 days. And I'm
Wow.
like, Rick Carlisle, I would have never guessed that you would be the oldest coach to coach in the NBA Finals. So whatever you're doing in your skin regimen, whatever, olive oil of Olay or whatever you're doing, it's working. I was actually shocked he was in his 60s. So yeah, Rick Carlisle, the oldest coach to coach in an NBA Finals.
It's amazing how much he looks like Jim Carrey too.
I don't see that, but
You really don't see Jim Carrey and Rick Carlisle?
no.
Oh man, that's all I see whenever I look at Rick Carlisle. I'm like, if they were to
I see it.
create a Rick Carlisle biopic, they got to have Jim Carrey as a lead role. Anyways, going back to the game tonight though. So you're confident in Tyrese Halliburton scoring over 17.5 points despite the injury. He left game 2 with a little bit of a leg injury, was limping off the court.
Yeah, that I didn't know. So now I'm less confident. Yeah. So
You don't think he looks like John Malkovich?
yeah,
A little bit.
yeah. Anyway, I guess I haven't heard a lot about his injury. I think he's going to be okay. I mean, 17.5 points for Tyrese Halliburton. If you look at the bounce back games he's had, every time he scores, I mean, he scored over 18 in game 1 or in game 2, but it was kind of late and too late.
Yeah.
In the second half. I think he's going to be aggressive. I think he has to be. So anyway, that's what I'm going with. We'll see.
Man, but it's been the year of the road teams. Road teams are winning at about a 44% clip in the playoffs this season.
Incredible.
Which is on pace to be the best record in 30 years in the NBA. Entering tonight's game, road teams this year are 35-45 in this postseason. Teams, the best mark was in 1995 when teams won at a 45% clip on the road. So we'll see if the road teams can continue to prevail during these NBA finals. And OKC, they are 4-3 on the road these playoffs. Meanwhile, Indiana is 7-3. So I don't know, man. I'm excited for tonight's game. I think it's going to be great. OKC -5.5. That's a tough bet. But speaking of tough bets, we'll get an expert to talk about this. We got Eric Cohen from CBS Sports. He's going to give us some NBA Finals best bets. We're also going to talk about the U.S. Open and the College World Series. How far will the Arizona Wildcats go? We'll talk to Eric about that coming up next. All right, let's get a gambling expert here to talk about the NBA Finals, the U.S. Open, and also the College World Series. We've got Eric Cohen. He's on CBS Sports. He's also co-host of Wildcat Country podcast. You can check him out on Twitter at Cohen's Corner AZ. And Eric is kind enough to join us on today's episode of Spears and Ali. Eric, good morning. Always a pleasure talking to you. How's it going?
Gentlemen, good to be on with you as always. I mean, it's exciting. We're talking about live Arizona sports. It's not something that I had on my 2025 June 11th bucket list.
When I listened to your latest episode of Wildcat Country, and you guys said it perfectly, like, we're talking about live Arizona sports in the middle of June. Like, how special is this right now? And I'm excited for the College World Series. You've been following Arizona baseball all season long. How would you describe the journey of them getting to the College World Series, and how do you feel about Arizona against the field in Omaha?
I don't want to say miraculous, but it's a good run. And listen, I'm going to own it right here for you guys. I was not a supporter of the Chip Hale hire when he replaced Jay Johnson. I thought it was a lazy-ish hire by Dave Hickey. And guess what? I was proven wrong. And I'm really glad that I was proven wrong. You know, we had Chip on the other week. I'm sure you guys have talked to him many times. Listen, he's done a fantastic job. He was able to recruit at the college level, to get his guys in there. You're having Mason White on the show later today. We had him on Wildcat Country this week. I mean, a hometown kid. And look what he's done. He came up with the biggest hit in Arizona baseball in the last, 12 or 10 years, whatever, 9 years since they were last in the finals. So you know what? It's just thrilling to see him get this far. Do I think they'll do anything in Omaha? Probably not, but guess what? Who cares? They're at least in Omaha, and that's all we can celebrate.
Absolutely.
Well, one thing we know, Eric, is we're going to keep riding your pessimism.
Yeah.
Pessimism. Yeah, geez. It's too early, buddy. Okay, you didn't like Chip. You don't think they're going to go far. Keep doing that because it seems to be working for us. So I like it.
Hey, Ali, I'll own it. Like that's what I was saying 4 years ago when he was hired. Since then, 4 tournament appearances. My biggest issue since then was he didn't know how to win a postseason game, in regionals and even come close to super regionals. Well, guess what? They got a really good draw in Oregon. Utah Valley upsets Oregon. Arizona doesn't have to play them. They cruise through that bracket. And then they pulled off one of the biggest upsets of super regionals, beating a team that was rated number 1 by D1Baseball.com. I mean, what can you say? Chip's done a great job. And you know what? If they lose 18-2 in both games here in Omaha, there's nothing I can say. I was wrong.
Hey, Cohen, let me ask you this. I mean, let's take the offseason of Arizona football and the engagement with the community and then the recruiting and the transfer portal. And then you look at all the other sports in Arizona athletics. And I know, we still got one to go, but we haven't won a national championship, but a lot of Big 12 titles, a lot of coaches of the year, a lot of just good seasons. Has this been one of the maybe top to bottom best seasons in Arizona athletics, from women's golf to the offseason Arizona football, offseason Arizona basketball that we've seen in quite a while?
See, that's a good question. I can't say yes on that. I'm going to have to say no, and I'll tell you why. As far as my personal rankings, I weight the 5, top revenue sports higher. So football, men's and women's basketball, baseball, and softball. Softball was a disappointment in the postseason. Football, as you guys know, was an utter disaster. Men's basketball started off badly, but a Sweet 16 and losing to the team that was ranked number 1 at the time. Nothing to really be ashamed of, but nothing that's exceeded expectations. Women's basketball, a disappointment. I mean, now, Becky Burke has brought some excitement to it. And then obviously baseball. So I would say, all right, how about this? Since if you put February to now, I mean, I would say that, the enthusiasm for 4 of those teams, and I just don't know about softball right now, but enthusiasm for 4 of those teams, yeah, it's going in the right direction. I spoke with Brent Brennan when he was up here in Scottsdale last month, and I was impressed with what he had to say off the record. He was candid, he was honest, and it was yeah, you know what? I'm starting to feel a little bit more excited about football season than maybe I was a few months ago.
All right, one last thing on the College World Series before we talk about U.S. Open and also the NBA Finals as well. Out of all the 8 teams, take off your Arizona hat here for a second. Who's that team that you're putting your money on to win the World Series?
Well, Arkansas is a plus 195 favorite. If they beat Jay Johnson and LSU, I think they're, UCLA and Murray State are not going to be able to handle that SEC balance, in my opinion, of pitching and hitting. So on that side, I like Arkansas. On Arizona's side, I mean, Coastal Carolina's a big favorite for a reason. They went into Auburn. They survived a long rain delay and an extra inning game. They ended up winning game 1 and then took care of business in game 2. Oregon State is not bad. Louisville doesn't do anything for me. I really think if Arizona can beat Coastal Carolina, that they can get to the championship series. Right now, I'm going Arkansas over Coastal Carolina. That's my pick.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. All right, now let's move on to the NBA Finals. Tonight we have Game 3. We talked about it last segment. Road teams are winning at a pretty high clip. It's the highest clip since 1995. So road teams are getting it done. Is OKC going to get it done at -5.5 tonight, or do you think Indiana figures out a way to take advantage of being at home and going up 2-1 in the series?
All right, I'm going to give you kind of a wishy-washy answer in a way. I think Oklahoma City will win the game tonight. I am confident in that, but I am not laying the 5.5 points. I'm going to play the money line, which is a little over -200 here, 1 to 2 odds. So if you bet $100, you'd get 50 back or so in return. My thing about this, I think Indiana can keep this a 1-possession game, but for some reason I have a feeling that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to hit a shot kind of like Tyrese Halliburton did in game 1 near the buzzer, and Oklahoma City wins by 2 or 3. Just a hunch play, and I'm playing the under 228 in this game. I think Oklahoma City wins this series in 6 games. I think Indiana probably takes game 4, but Oklahoma City needs to have it tonight. They cannot go down 2-1, and I think they will take care of business.
You know, I was looking the other day, and Tyrese Halliburton over 17.5 was even money. I think it's minus 105, minus 110 now. And with all the talk of him not being aggressive enough, Eric, I'm kind of thinking that it's not just from the outside. His coaches are telling him that. So that's where I'm laying my money. Tyrese Halliburton over 17.5. What do you think about that?
I don't hate it at all. You know, I bet the under in game 2, and he goes out and had 3 points at halftime and scored 14 it was 16.5 was the line. And he had 3 points at halftime and scored 14 in the second half, which there went bye-bye to my bet. I'm going to tell you the Halliburton bet that I like the best. How about Halliburton have double-digit assists at plus 185? He had done this in more than half the games of the playoffs. Now, in games 1 and 2, he had 6 assists each. I expect him to step up tonight and have 10 or more assists. And you can get almost 2-1 money on that. So if you're putting together a same-game parlay as yours truly is, that is one thing that I'm throwing in there at plus 185, 10 assists for Halliburton.
All right, before we get you out of here, Eric, we've got the U.S. Open this week at Oakmont Country Club in Pennsylvania. And, man, talking to some of these guys like Dustin Johnson, others, they're saying that this is the hardest course they have ever played. So it's going to be challenging, maybe some low scores out there in Oakmont Country Club. But when you think about all the players that are in the field, who do you think will ultimately come out on top for the U.S. Open?
There's no value in betting this, Justin. I mean, it's just Scottie Scheffler, in my opinion, is the clear favorite at little odds below 3-1. And you can't bet against 156 golfers taking one at lower than 3-1. I don't like that. So I think he will win. But there are ways to bet this with outright possibilities at better odds. You play the without Scheffler market, and then there's a without Scheffler, DeChambeau, Rahm, and McIlroy market. I would play those. And I like John Rahm in the without Scottie Scheffler market. And I like Colin Morikawa in the without Scheffler, DeChambeau, Rahm, and McIlroy market. You can get both of those. Rahm is 9-1 in the without Scheffler. Morikawa is around 14-1. The U.S. Open usually sees, fairly low-priced winners. So the favorites generally do well. And right now we're in a run of majors where the favorites are winning. Scheffler's won a couple. Rory McIlroy over the last 6. McIlroy's won 1. Scheffler's won 2. DeChambeau, I was out at Pinehurst last year. DeChambeau is one of the favorites and won that. My favorite bet, though, I'm going to tell you this one. The over-under for total score is 278.5. Par is 280. Do you really think that anyone is going to get to 2 under par with what we've all seen on social media? In the last 2 U.S. Opens combined, only one player, Dustin Johnson in 2016, and I'm talking about at Oakmont, have exceeded that total and gone lower than that. So I'm taking the over 278.5, which means that the winning score will be at 1 under par or above par.
Wow.
I like that.
I like that a lot.
I like that. It's the only thing missing from Oakmont from watching some of the clips of the guys playing practice rounds is the windmill to knock your ball away. I mean, it looks like a whorehouse of like the greens are like
So
glass.
fast.
You can't you touch it and it goes 50 yards.
It's insane, man.
So you're right. I mean, that's what's crazy. I got to ask you something. What are both of your handicaps? Golf handicaps.
Oh, I actually have a handicap.
Yeah.
Mine's a 19.5.
Yeah.
Okay. What about Justin? You don't have one?
Probably like high 20s, low 30s.
Okay. I'm a 17.7. So I keep track of my hand. Okay. That's not good. So I'm right. You and I, Ollie, could play heads up. It'd be fun.
Yeah. Well,
So
and we
if
would
we
enjoy
went out there.
we would enjoy the company as opposed to Spears always looking for his ball.
Yeah. I asked a resident golf expert who I do a show with on Tuesdays, Jason Sobel. I asked him last night. I said, okay, as nearly an 18 handicap, he's out at Oakmont. I said, if I were to go play this course, what am I shooting? He said, at least 150.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking that course, Eric, if me and you went out there, it'd be like, who's going to break 140? That's going to be over under.
Not keep it.
I don't hit it far off the tee. So you all got to remember 7,300 yards. That's already a problem for me. And then if you hit it in the rough, good luck getting it out. I don't know how these guys are going to do it. You're going to see some wacky scores. And you know what? This is better for the game of golf. We all love to watch them struggle. Birdie fests aren't fun for us. This is great.
One of us. All right, Eric, we appreciate you and your expertise. Make sure you check out Eric on the Early Wedge every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time or 4 p.m. in Arizona. And also check him out on Twitter at Cohen's Corner AZ and subscribe to Wildcat Country Podcast wherever you get your podcast. Eric, always a pleasure. Thank you for joining us.
Justin, Ali, always enjoy it. Take care, guys.
Thank you, man. All right, let's wrap up hour number 1 coming up next. Later on this afternoon, the Arizona Diamondbacks will finish up their series against the Seattle Mariners, looking to get back to 500, now 33-34 on the season. Even though they're in 4th place of the National League West, they're still just 6.5 games back of the Dodgers in the NL West standing. So NL West is stacked right now, but D-backs going through some interesting times right now. Seems like everybody's dealing with an elbow injury. They're banged up right now. Was it Josh Naylor a couple days ago? He hits a walk-off grand slam and just doesn't look happy. There's some weird vibes going on right now with these Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
But
Justin Martinez, didn't he get hurt?
Yep.
Pitcher?
Yep. Yeah, you got Justin Martinez. You have was it Corbin Burns as well?
Yeah, he's like done for the year.
Yeah.
Like, he's done.
So yeah, tough times right now for the Arizona Diamondbacks, but
they won. They won last night.
Yeah.
Our guy Brad Fatt actually pitched well.
Brad Fatt.
Yeah, I was riding the Brad Fatt fade. Last night it didn't work. Brad Fatt just came through. It's a good game.
Poor Brandon Fott. Anyways,
Granted, they were playing the Mariners, so
yeah.
Mariners are good.
Mariners are decent.
Yeah.
A really good catcher. But the mound matchup tonight or this afternoon, we have Eduardo Rodriguez versus Brian Wu. That's the mound matchup. First pitch is at 12:40 p.m. We have coverage just after noon right here on ESPN Tucson.
I like Brian. I like the Mariners tonight.
Yeah.
Brian Wu, good pitcher.
Woo!
And Rodriguez not doing good. He's got like a 7 ERA.
His catcher, man, he'll catch all those balls.
Hey, catcher, that's an important position, man.
I
It's like
understand
quarterback of the team when they're on the field. Yeah.
Kind
You're
of.
talking to a catcher, a guy that would play catcher in high school.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So
Did you catch them all?
I did. Well, the ones that were
Doesn't
close
sound
enough.
Like you were a great catcher.
Yeah, their catcher's name is Cal Raleigh, and his nickname is the Big Dumper.
There's no way that dude isn't a race car driver too.
Cal Raleigh, aka the Big Dumper. And one of the top catchers right now in baseball. Last year, he won the Gold Glove Award and also Platinum Glove Award. So, yeah, Cal Raleigh, get to know the name, the Big Dumper. Anyways, you can see the Big Dumper go up against the Arizona Diamondbacks at 12:40 p.m. right here on ESPN Tucson. Coming up next in hour number 2, we're going to talk more about some notable storylines going around Tucson, Arizona, and talk about the College World Series featuring the Arizona Wildcats. We'll look ahead to their game coming up against Coastal Carolina. And then Arizona baseball star Mesa White joins the show at 8:25. Hour number 2 is going to be a good one. Don't miss out. This Hump Day episode of Spears and Ali on ESPN Tucson is brought to you by the Volpe team at Nova Home Loans, Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, and Tucson Federal Credit Union. We are just a couple days away from the College World Series in Omaha, and first game features.
Stop it.
I will do that on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yes.
I'm not going to annoy my guy Ollie Farhang by
Stop it.
yelling Omaha like Peyton Manning, especially because my guy's trying to get better, man. He's a little groggy, trying to wake up a little bit.
I'm saying. I mean, what would make him up?
He had a
what would make
long
him up
night.
better than Omaha.
No, that's not going to help me. Just irritating
Yeah,
when somebody yells Omaha in your ear.
yeah.
But he can do it to you tomorrow.
So yeah,
As much as you want.
I'll do it on Thursday.
Yeah.
Every other segment on Spears and Ali. But yeah, we're rocking and rolling on this beautiful hump day. If you want to be a part of the show, hit us up at 719-1490, 719-1490. We're going to have Mason White join the show at 8:25. Great player, great story, third generation Arizona baseball player. And he's the first one to lead the Wildcats to a College World Series appearance. And he was very emotional after Arizona beat North Carolina in that super regional. So we're going to talk about what this season means for Mesa White and just talk about his time at Arizona and the team's mindset going into the College World Series. And should be a great conversation. And yeah, we had Coach Preble on the other day.
Yeah.
keeping the lights on at South Point Baseball Stadium.
Always make sure the lights are on.
And just a great story. And Chip Hale, we've always heard about the story of Chip Hale going to South Point Catholic and watching Mason White work out, and 15, 20 minutes goes by, just a few at bats. He's already he was like, I've seen enough. We're going to go ahead and offer this guy. I didn't know how soon it was. Like, Chip Hale was on the job maybe 2 days, 3 days before he went and saw Mason White and offered him a full ride scholarship to come out to Arizona. And Chip Hale saw something in this guy. And I was talking about this with the PHNX guys yesterday on their podcast. The cool thing about Chip is he values guys in his backyard. I mean, look at all the great players that are playing at Arizona right now. Owen Kremkowski, Walden Grove's finest, played. He's from Sahuarita. Now he's the ace pitcher for the Arizona Wildcats. Mesa White from Tucson went to every single postseason game in Tucson in 2012. Went to both the regional and the super regional at High Corbett Field, the season that Arizona won the national championship. Raul Grearzar, he's also a Southern Arizona native as well. Like, you could look at they
got a kid from Ironwood too.
Andrew Kane. Yeah. Andrew Kane's a absolute beast. And so Chip valued the local prospects, and he developed them into some big time players. And I think that's a really special thing that Chip Hale has done. But going back to what I was originally talking about with Chip was, when Chip first started at Arizona, and Eric kind of touched on it a little bit, there were some doubts. There were some questions, right? Can Chip Hale coach at the collegiate level? Because he spent so much time with the Major League Baseball franchises, right? He was the manager of the Arizona Diamondbacks. He was the manager of the 2006 PCL champions, Tucson Sidewinders. He's done it at the professional level, but college baseball, it's a totally different beast. And when Chip Hale first got the job at Arizona, we were being introduced into the NIL era. So things were evolving in college athletics. And, oh, by the way, Chip Hale is becoming a first-time college baseball coach. How is he going to navigate through this era? And can he keep Arizona in a place to where they're going to the postseason regularly, and they're also every couple of years they're going to Omaha? And Chip, I feel like, has answered every single one of those questions and has proven the doubters wrong. I mean, it seems like really the only thing that he still has left on his resume at Arizona as a head coach is winning a national championship. He's already won the conference title. He did it last year with the Pac-12 outright, both the regular season and the tournament.
All-time Pac-12 champion forever. No takebacks.
No takebacks.
Yeah.
This year, didn't win the regular season in the Big 12, but they go to the Big 12 tournament in Dallas. They win that. He's produced Major League Baseball draft picks. I mean, look at all the guys that he's developed this year. And another great sign of a good coach and kind of where the culture stands, outside of the year where he first came to Arizona and a bunch of players followed Jay Johnson to LSU or went elsewhere, has there been significant turnover with Arizona baseball? Has there ever been a time where we're like, man, why are all these players leaving Arizona baseball? What the hell is going on with Chip Hale and the Wildcats? We've never experienced that before. And so I think there's something to be said about player retention, player development, and in the era of NIL and in money being pumped into these programs, the fact that Arizona baseball, they may not have as much money as, say, a program like LSU, but they're right there in Omaha on the cusp of winning a national championship. So with that being said, I tip my cap to Chip Hale. Definitely deserves a nice contract extension. I'm not sure what the figures are going to look like, but it'd be absolutely criminal if Chip Hale doesn't get an extension.
Yeah, I mean, it would be, I'm going to use the word disappointing, but I want it to be more forceful and mean more. But I'll just use the word disappointing. If Chip Hale is not extended and goes into the last year of his contract next year, I'm going to say that's going to be very disappointing. And I don't know what there is to evaluate anymore. And the question that he had, it was one question. Can you recruit? Because you probably can coach. He did it at the highest levels.
Yeah.
But can you recruit? And he answered that. Box checked.
Yeah.
So, when you get a guy like Chip Hale, who's really good at what he does, has a good culture within his team, and is able to have this program at this stature, and is a Tucson guy and wants to be here. He's a Wildcat. You embrace him and you hold on to that guy as tightly as you can. So if Chip Hale needs to be extended,
He does.
then it should happen by, I don't know, end of July, beginning of August.
Man, I think it should happen the second they get back from Omaha.
Well, you don't want to, I mean, let's not, I mean, the sooner the better, right? You're recruiting. I mean, look, Chip Hale's got his team at the college in Omaha at the College World Series, and also getting guys in the transfer portal. So they're working, man. I mean, got a great pitcher from Western Kentucky, a left-hander. He's got like a 1.88 ERA in that league. So, man, he's what Arizona sports is all about. Chip Hale, former Wildcat, long lineage, loves the school, won a national championship here, wants to be here. This is not a stepping stone job for him. Chip Hale's not going to go coach Florida.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
He's an Arizona guy.
No,
he does.
absolutely.
So it's just
no need to go over his resume anymore with a red lip pen.
Yeah. Just extend the guy.
Also, you mentioned the pitcher that they added from Western Kentucky or Texas Tech.
I thought he was a hilltopper.
Okay. Well, they also added a pitcher yesterday from Texas Tech. His name is JT Drake, and JT Drake is from Los Alamos, New Mexico. He actually started his career at Pima and then went to Texas Tech. Last year at Texas Tech, he had a 5.93 ERA in 15 appearances and 13.2 innings pitched. So not sure how he's going to fit into the rotation. Maybe they did add a guy from Western Kentucky, and I totally missed that.
You did. You totally missed it. How's it feel, Rupert?
Yeah, it feels terrible, man.
Yeah.
Especially because I have sports FOMO.
Yeah, I know you
Like,
do.
Wait, what do you mean I'm missing out on Arizona getting recruits?
I know.
What is this?
You're 100% going to be off social media on your vacation, except for Twitter.
Yeah. 100% off social media for the first 17 and last 4 minutes of his vacation.
You think that much?
I know.
It's recruiting season, guys.
Yeah.
It's not recruiting.
I got to be on top of it. Well, especially for Arizona football. Yeah, they're adding a bunch of guys. Yeah, June is usually the time that you stack up the recruits. But one thing that's very interesting about the House settlement and how that's going to affect recruiting for Arizona, now maybe there's a point where we're not going to see as many recruits commit in July. And they're going to essentially play a game of chicken with these programs because they want to, I guess, feel like they have leverage. And I already know that there are recruits out there. They're like, no, I'm not committing in June. I'm going to wait until December because I want to continue to negotiate contracts and money and see how much money I can get. These guys are going into their senior year of high school. And they're like, yeah, I'm not committing because I want to keep negotiating numbers. And see if I can get a few extra $1,000 from Arizona or whoever. It's crazy.
But you understand that everybody's got the same amount of money for the most part.
Yeah.
So if they're going to take it to December, that's when teams start looking in the transfer portal. So
and that's the thing is like, be careful.
I would
be careful, youngster.
If you get offered something now, you may want to ink that deal now before maybe there's not a spot or that money available to you. So
I mean, and also there's the value too. Let's say you go out and you play your senior season and you stink. Then Arizona's like, okay, well, you were great as a junior, but what about as a senior? You didn't do anything. Sorry.
Always that possibility. Or you get injured, right? Or something happens. But yeah, I mean, it's you talk about NIL and I love you, but you use that completely wrong. There's never been NIL.
I never said NIL.
No, but I was listening to Monday's show. There's never been NIL. Really, it's been pay for play.
Yeah.
The only time NIL is really going to happen is now on July 1st, where you actually have to do something for the money, and it's got to be fair market value.
Now it's audited.
Yeah,
over $600.
Yeah, and interesting how they're gonna. I saw how they evaluate whether it's a good deal. So it's pretty interesting.
All right, Andrew's giving us the hang loose sign. So we got some phone calls here. 719-1490 is that phone number. 719-1490. We got our good buddy Chris joining the show. What's up, Chris?
Hey, long time haven't talked to you guys. You know, I'm in my dog days in summer because the SEC football stinks. So
Yeah.
I'm looking for ping pong and badminton and tennis. You know, right about this time. I don't want to talk about NIL because in transfer portal because it ruined SEC football, not just Alabama football, but it just ruined you know what, you got to show up, you got to perform, or you ain't getting on the field. Right. You know, so what I really wanted to talk to you guys about is you're talking about Chip Hill and whether or not he should be extended his success now and projected success maybe next year if he does get re-signed. And what I want to say is, and it's more of a question and not a statement, but I like baseball. I like Major League Baseball. I admit it. I'm one of those guys that don't start really watching it till around end of August, September. We start getting around October when it gets hyped up. Then I'm really watching. Played it as a kid. Recruiting, if there still is recruiting, and even for NIL for these players, the reason why SEC football in Alabama was so successful is because when they went into folks' homes and parents and said, you're not coming to Alabama just to play on Saturday, you're coming to Alabama to get a check on Sunday. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean, a lot of times they're getting a check on Saturday too, though, Chris.
Well, I know. You know what I mean. But,
I think that's why the SEC doesn't like all of this revenue share. It's because it's like, well, we were just paying them on our own.
Hey, look, that sounds like a day, man. Leave Bobby Bowden alone. Hey, look, you got to do what you have to do. You got to pay people to get out of jail. So, hey, look. We had to pay. We had to pay it. But look, when I turn on baseball, see, I'm thinking that when you go to these homes and kids, whether they want to stay at the U of A or a program that looks like the U of A, or you're trying to get them to come to the U of A, what's your sales pitch? Because Nick Saban's sales pitch was, I'm going to get you paid, and I'm going to get you drafted first round, first 10, 15, slots in the draft. I'm gonna get you a draft check. But when and NFL teams, the reason why that works is because so many of them have so many players from schools like Georgia and Alabama. I mean, doggone, Philly's team, half of their defense is from damn Georgia.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of like you got a kid in Georgia. I'm going to go play Georgia because guess what? They're drafting guys from Georgia or whatever schools in the SEC. Can you say the same about the U of A or just baseball in general? Because to be honest with you, when I turn on baseball, and not just on the field games, but when I look at the studio analysts, they don't reflect what the makeup of the team is to me. And I'm talking about you got to compete with a lot of players from the Dominican and other, places that all they do is play baseball. They don't go to college for baseball.
Yeah.
They get up to get here to the U.S. to make money. And is he able to tell a young person, stay here at the U of A because I'm going to get you on a roster. I'm not going to just get you in AAA, but I'm going to get you playing in October, or tell a kid that, you come here, you're going to have success. But I'm just asking you, does it really translate for a young person wanting to play like softball? Sure, girls want to come play for this U of A softball because they were successful. But on a professional level, and forget about NIL and the money and all, does the U of A look like what you see when you turn on the TV? Because the first thing you do when you turn on the TV, you see the studio analyst.
Yeah.
Look at the studio analyst. Versus the team makeup on the field. Does that look like the U of A? And is Chip Hill able to go to these particular players from these particular backgrounds and say, if you compete for me, I'll get you to midsummer night, games?
Well, I think,
and it's a question for you guys. I don't really know.
No.
It's just that's what I'm just saying.
No. Well, Chris, one classic example, we just saw it in the last World Series. Austin Wells, playing for the New York Yankees. He's an Arizona Wildcat, who came here, balled out, and is now playing in October at the highest level. So it has been proven. It has been proven.
I guess
The
my sales pitch,
consistency.
Chris, is this:
I'm,
is like,
I'm,
hey, you come to Arizona, we're going to compete for national championships. Number one. Number two, we are going to develop you. And I've got an example for you: Mason White from South Point.
Yeah,
Very under recruited. We brought him in here, developed him. He's one of the best players in college baseball. And then, more importantly, young man, roll tide, Chris. We're not going to treat you like a fungible asset. When you come here and we develop you, we're not always looking to replace you with somebody else because it feels good.
Hey, Chris, I hate to cut you off, brother. We got to get to our interview with Mason White. We're going to take a commercial break, but roll tide, Chris.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure talking to you. We got Mason White joining the
right,
show
guys.
on the other side. Stay tuned.
Buddy.
The Wildcats are looking to win their first national championship since 2012, which would be the 5th all-time in program history. And here joining us to talk about Arizona's quest to the College World Series is their star player, Mason White, who had the big heroic moment in Game 3 of the Super Regional against North Carolina. Mason, we appreciate your time. I know it's pretty chaotic right now in Omaha. How's it going, my friend?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been good. Getting ready to start practice here in probably 20, 30 minutes, so it's been fun.
Okay, we'll keep it nice and tight so you can get out of here in time to go practice. But tell us about the vibes in Omaha. How has it been over the last couple of days as you guys get ready for the biggest stage at the College World Series?
It's been super fun getting on the ground here, just seeing the stadium, seeing the festival getting set up and the Fans Fest. It's been a blast, and we're just getting ready to get off to a hot start on Friday.
Mason, I want to talk a little bit about Game 3 against North Carolina, and I want you to tell me if my impression of what happened is correct. So, 6th inning, I think, you make the error. I saw that it kind of, you were not happy about it, but right after that, you guys pull a double play, get out of the inning. That seemed to kind of spark you guys moving forward. Did I have the right impression?
Yeah, when the error happened, it was a really tough nitty-gritty play that happened, but I knew it was a turning point in the game. It could either go one or the other ways for each of our teams. So they could either take the lead or extend their lead, or we could get out of it. So I think we called a mound meeting, and they were telling me, like, you're going to get another one, you're going to get another one, you're going to get another opportunity. So I said, okay, I need to be present for that opportunity. And I think it was like literally 2 pitches later, we got a double play out of it. So that kind of brought me back into the game. And I think our team kind of saw that and was like, okay, yeah, we got a chance. We're still here. Like, it's not over. So it kind of started a fire. And then I think either that inning or 2 innings later, that's when we took the lead.
So we've asked Chip this question. He's just like, I don't know. I just kind of let the players do their own thing. What's the story behind the playoff bananas?
Oh, I don't even know. It started last year, I think, in the Pac-12 tournament, and I think we won a bunch of games around that time. Just, it's been fun. I think the pitchers really enjoy it because they're sitting down there just enjoying the game, being the life of the dugout. So that's just kind of what we've used. There's not much to it.
You guys are very creative with the bananas. You guys got banana chains, banana hats.
Justin's just envious of the toys. He's like, man, I want a remote control car.
I want a Hot Wheel.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah, they get real creative with all that stuff.
Yeah. Hey, Mason, you guys, you guys win the regional in Eugene. You celebrate, you turn the page, then you go play North Carolina at their place. And same thing, you win. Now, how do you guys do that transition from, hey, we celebrate our success, but now we've got bigger plans and other goals. So we got to focus on what's ahead of us and put, as great as it was, we got to put that North Carolina series behind us.
Yeah, it started last year at the Pac-12 tournament. We won the Pac and then had a quick turnaround to go play in the tournament. And we won the tournament again. And then we went to the regional and looked dead. We were kind of flat and we got steamrolled. They walked into our own park and beat us twice and we were done. So for the older guys that were on that team that played, which is a lot of us in this lineup, we used that as just a learning lesson for this year. So the Big 12 tournament was super fun. It was 3 electric games. And then we knew there was more to it. We knew that wasn't the end. Like we were ready for the postseason to really start. And so we went to Eugene and 3 games there. And then it wasn't over. Like we're not done with one good result. We know there's another weekend. And now in Omaha, we know there's another week and a half to be played. So once we win and once the game happens, we're on to the next one.
Why do you guys think you thrive on the road? What's been special to that recipe?
Yeah, we've had we call it the wear down. So we've been on a bunch of wear down trips this year. Went to West Virginia, with Texas Tech. We've been all over the place. And so the last 4 weekends, I think this is weekend 4 of being on the road. So
Yeah.
this team is used to it. It feels like we're at home, basically, being in hotels, being on the bus together, being in the conference room, eating together. So it feels completely normal, and we've just grown to love it.
That's awesome. We're talking with Arizona baseball star Mason White here on ESPN Tucson. And Mason, when you first got offered by Arizona, it was at the South Point Catholic facility at the stadium. What do you remember about that workout and showing Chip Hale why you're worthy of being a Division I baseball player?
Yeah, it was super brief. Dave Wan, he was the old assistant here with Jay when Jay left, so Chip kept him, and he had been talking to me before Chip got the job. So once Chip was hired, Dave set up a workout for Chip, easy for Chip to come see me work out. So there's no games, there's no other players, it's just me taking BP and taking ground balls, and Chip, I think, liked what he saw. I'm not sure how much or what he saw, but I was small. I was just trying to hit home runs and impress him because I didn't have any big time offers or any looks at the time. So I knew I really wanted to come here, and it was really important to me. So once I got the offer, there was no question. I committed on the spot, and so I didn't look back after that.
And then you became a third-generation Wildcat, and you're the first one to lead Arizona to the College World Series. How has it been like to experience this with your family? And what does it mean to you to be the first one of your family to lead Arizona to the College World Series?
It's been unbelievable. It's really surreal. You imagine it happening, and you dream of it happening, but when it actually happens, it's almost like this isn't real. Like, it's been played in your mind so many times that when it's real, it's really unbelievable, and it's really cool to be present in that moment.
Mason, taking that surreal moment, and it's still just a game, right? So when you guys first pitch on Friday, how long does it take for you, I guess, specifically? Just like, okay, maybe there's a little bit of nerves. We're in the College World Series, but now we're just playing a baseball game, focus on the game. How difficult is that?
Yeah, you're just trying to take in every second you're there. You're just trying to enjoy it and then absorb it and know that the nerves are good. Like, it's good that you have nerves, and it's good that you care. Because if you didn't have nerves, you'd be showing yourself that you don't care. But we're all going to feel that, and to embrace it. Pressure is a privilege. We've adopted that motto the whole year. It's one of our things we say to each other all the time. So when you do feel it, you thrive on it. And I use those nerves as a superpower. It's kind of what I harness in these big moments, is that when I feel that, it's like, okay, my body's getting ready to do something really cool. So I love it.
And Mason, you've been in Arizona now for a few years. What makes this team so special, maybe compared to the other teams that you've been a part of?
This team's full of a bunch of kids who have willed their way to be really good at baseball. A lot of these guys were not high draft prospects out of high school. There's been a few that made it to campus, but for the most part, a lot of these kids were almost taken a chance on by our coaching staff. They got us here, and they believed in us, and they raised us to be good baseball players. And now we love each other as a team, and we grinded as a team when we were not playing good, and we've been there in the good moments as well. But this is a for real baseball team. This is not an all-star team or a team that was just made for this year. This team has been in the work for years and years, and you can see that in our coaching staff and how much they love this team, because they've worked so hard to make us play and help us get better, and in the weight room and off the field, and it's a real team.
That is Arizona baseball star Mason White joining Spears and Ali right here on ESPN Tucson. Mason, I know you got to go out to practice. You got a busy day today, so we'll go ahead and end the interview here. But thank you so much for your time, and more importantly, congratulations on your team's success. And you guys ain't done yet. We're looking forward to seeing what you guys can do in Omaha. Thank you once again.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Mason. Let's do it again next week.
Yes, sir. Great guy, Mason White is. Unbelievable guy.
A very good ambassador for Arizona in a lot of ways.
I like what he said. Pressure is a privilege.
Pressure is a privilege. I was going to say that, if you don't have nerves, it means you don't care, or you're Tony Pluta, who's just got,
balls of steel.
Balls of steel, man. That guy, what that guy did in North Carolina, I mean, a lot of guys. And I like what Mason said. It's like, this is not like an all-star team. This is not, hey, we're carried by one ace pitcher and, this first baseman that all he does is hit home runs. On any given day, it's one guy and then it's another guy. And these guys, I mean, I guess if there's a term of complementary baseball,
Yeah,
it can be anybody on any given day. These guys play as a team well together. And it seems like it's a different guy every day coming up with a big play.
no doubt, man. We'll see what Arizona baseball can do against Coastal Carolina Friday morning at 11 a.m. I think that game's on ESPN 2, if I'm not mistaken, or it should be on it's definitely on the ESPN family of networks. But yeah, Arizona versus Coastal Carolina. Man, how many mullets does Coastal Carolina have?
I don't,
Or what they call the Florida flatback.
Several.
do they? I didn't really notice a lot of mullets.
Like when I think of a Coastal Carolina baseball player, I'm thinking of like a blonde mullet with a deputy mustache.
It is on ESPN proper.
Oh, hell yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of, but that's
And-
just the thing these days with kids between the ages of like 20 and 28.
They all look the same.
Everybody looks like they're, working for the Pima County Sheriff's Office.
You got the pit viper glasses and
Yeah.
everything.
Well, Arizona's got the kid. I think he's got like I'm going to mess it up, but he's got like brunette hair or blonde hair.
He's got
the
blonde hair
pitcher.
and
Blonde hair and a
brown.
brunette mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hicks.
Hicks. Yes. Yeah.
It's like he looks like a robin baron from 1932.
I think he looks like he should be driving a Trans Am or something like that.
Trans Am for sure. The Smokey and the Bandit.
And he's hardcore, man. He ain't chewing pouches. He's got the full chaw.
Yeah.
2 horseshoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I love this team, and whatever happens, great year. Could be greater, but they've had a great year and they're a great team. And it all starts at the top with our coach, Chip Hale. So, like I said, Chip needs to have a commitment made to him after this season that shows him that we want him here for a long time.
Absolutely. Blue Moon presents the 17th annual Iron Chef Tucson competition and culinary experience on Saturday, July 26th at Desert Diamond Casino's Diamond Center in Sahuarita. We've got Anthony Dromgoole of Oban Sushi and Ramen in one corner, taking on Chef Mackenzie O'Leary of Tanque Verde Ranch, who's in the other corner. And this is going to be an epic cooking showdown. You can enjoy culinary samples and drinks from restaurants all across Southern Arizona before their battle begins. Get your tickets by visiting IronChefTucson.com or ESPNTucson.com, and partial proceeds to benefit the Community Food Bank of Southern Arizona. And the Iron Chef Tucson competition and culinary experience is brought to you in part by Whiskey Del Bach and Peroni. Up next, Corey Williams, Arizona basketball legend. He's going to talk to us about the NBA Finals and also the Tucson Summer Pro League. You're listening to Spears and Ali right here on ESPN Tucson. We're talking NBA Finals. We're talking Tucson Summer Pro League with our good buddy and Dak Prescott apologist, Corey Williams, who joins us here on ESPN Radio. What's going on, Corey? How you doing, man?
We're apologizing for Dak. He is what he is. He's a very good fourth-round quarterback. Very good fourth-round pick. That's all he is.
He was really good fourth. I think actually he gets. I saw Corey yesterday. I'm like, I got to tell you, Dak Prescott. A lot of unfair criticism. He's a really good quarterback. You just have the worst owner in sports that thinks he's a good general manager. And Corey agreed.
And yeah, it's the most visible position, I would say, in sports. I mean, unless you're like the pitcher for the Yankees, I think the Dallas Cowboy quarterback is probably known more than any other sports figure, whoever that person may be, just because of the scale of how big they are in the media. So yeah, the guy gets he's a great guy, always says the right thing, but just it's time for him to get over the hump and get to a Super Bowl.
Now on to more important stuff, Corey. And speaking of prominent sports figures, what you've done with the Tucson Summer Pro League has been truly remarkable. I mean, going from the men's league where it had Arizona basketball legends, well-known basketball players from here in town, guys, coming from out of state to play in the Tucson Summer Pro League. And now it's evolved into the Tucson Summer Pro League for kids. And, I was fortunate enough to be a part of the league for so many years, but man, how many years have you done the Tucson Summer Pro League? And what has it been like this year to see the kiddos out there performing at a high level this summer?
Well, we started the summer of 2004, that initial season over at the JCC, and so that's 21 summers. Well, actually, you take out the COVID year, so 20 summers of basketball in Tucson. We've had a great relationship with the University of Arizona in our early years. That really gave us the foundation in the community to have some successful summers and attract good quality players and great corporate sponsors and partnerships, and really just grow the league from there. But I'm not even going to pretend for one moment that I was able to accomplish this on my own. I've had literally hundreds of people over the years helping me, sharing the vision, financially supporting the league, especially now that we're doing kids. My vision is to, try to create a safe space for kids to play basketball and keep it affordable. I'm not plugged into the club scene or AAU or anything like that, but I hear the horror stories of how expensive it is. And I'm just old school. I think that the opportunity to play sports really shouldn't depend on your financial status, because that's something that kids have no control over.
Yeah.
Corey, parents listening out there today, they want their son or daughter to play in the Summer Pro League. Where do they go? What do they do?
Well, what they can do is be disappointed, because we are completely full. We don't have any opportunities. Our 10 and 11-year-old division is completely filled. Our boys 10 and 11, our boys 12 and 13-year-old division is completely full. We do have a handful of spots, maybe half a dozen spots in our girls division. So we still are adding any girls ages 10 to 13. We still have a couple of spots in that league after the first weekend. I think we can put one or two girls on each team. There's only 4 teams in that division as well. So the key thing is, jump on it early next year. Make sure your child attends the tryouts so our coaches can see them. And we've got what they call one of those good problems. I've got 12 teams, 10 kids on a team. I've got 120 kids, and we just simply don't have enough spots. So from a business standpoint, the demand is high, but the athlete in me wishes I could put a jersey on every kid that walks in the gym, but we just physically can't do it.
Yeah. Good for you, Corey. Hey, our guy Spears likes lists, and I'm wondering, on the list of all-time worst coaches for the Tucson Summer Pro League, Justin Spears, number 1 or 2?
Justin was, I wouldn't say he was the worst. There was a guy that came in back in 2004 who was I was learning, I was young, and I'll do what Jerry Jones won't do. I'll admit when I had a bad hire. This guy was terrible. I should have never hired him. No one will ever touch him in terms of worst coach. Matter of fact, there was another guy after him that was equally horrible. Justin was a great coach because he was so immature that he connected with the kids. They loved him.
Yeah.
He was like one of the players. He was one of the players. He was high-fiving and fist-pumping, and it's like somebody's older brother was coaching the team. So his youth was his greatest advantage. His kids loved him. He'd huddle them up. They took great pictures after the game. Even when they lost, you'd look over at the bench, and they were all in a great mood. So Justin, he may have had a horrible record, but his emotional impact on the league was tremendous.
And we won the championship one year, Team Texas Roadhouse.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Texas Roadhouse, because I told Justin he'd get free rolls if his team won the title. So
yeah.
He had him out there playing boxing one, pressing full court, all kinds of stuff.
We need these rolls, guys.
Yeah,
come on.
Incentivizing. He went from Darvin Ham just standing there with his hands in his pockets to Bobby Hurley when you said rolls.
Oh, getting technical fouls out there, yelling at the refs. He wanted everything when it came down to the Texas Roadhouse.
Yeah, that is the defining example of it's about the Jimmys and the Joes, not the X's and the O's. If Justin won a championship,
our team was definitely unfair. For sure.
Justin, and that's the other thing with these young players, you just really don't know. We put them out there with very little guidance intentionally because we want to see them develop and play. And yeah, sometimes you get a bunch of kids that make Justin look like he's Pat Riley, and he can take all the credit. But it's always amazing to watch the young people get a feel for each other and learn how to play with each other. It's easy to play alongside a kid in a club situation because you practice with them day in and day out. But, I came up in an era where you walked in the gym and whoever was in there, that's who you played with. and you adjusted your game accordingly. And I think that's a skill that is very valuable to athletes later on in life, is to be able to play in lots of different circumstances. Some days you're the role player, some days you're the go-to guy, some days you got to be the big, sometimes you got to be the point guard. Like, add that diversity to your game. Don't get pigeonholed very early and limit yourself.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I compare him to Pat Riley based on his dress and his behaviors.
Oh, no, I was wearing a suit, man. I was wearing the
thinking,
suit in the
no,
gym,
you
and Corey was like,
No, you
Justin,
weren't.
it's 110 degrees outside. You're over here dressing like Pat Riley.
No, man.
I'm like, man, look the part, be the part.
I think you were looking like the Big
Justin-
Lebowski.
Yeah,
dude.
he had some dress code violations. Justin insisted on wearing a shirt that was a size and a half too small.
Yeah.
And he's out there trying to flex his guns, and it was really, really uncomfortable watching Justin coach.
Yeah. Medium's not for you,
Got
Justin.
the chains out and everything.
The chains.
He came down with his gold chains out. The kids looking at him weird. He looked like somebody's uncle. You know, he was having a good time though.
All right, Corey, looking at the schedule for the Tucson Summer Pro League, you guys are back at the Gregory School every Saturday and Sunday. What's the schedule like moving forward for the TSPL?
Every Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 3, we're down there playing kids basketball. Come on down. We're obviously off the 4th of July weekend, but we run until July 20th. Every Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 3. We've got the boys games followed by 2 girls games and then 2 more boys games. So wall-to-wall basketball all day. Great concession stand, hot dogs, nachos, cheese fries, the whole deal. Justin, you know how we do it down there.
Damn straight, man. I still got my Corey cash.
What would you like on the menu, Justin? Yes, I would.
Everything.
Yes.
Everything. All right, Corey, real
And
quick.
You guys are comped if you come down. You guys are good.
Hell yeah. All right, who do you got in the NBA Finals, Corey? OKC or Indiana?
I honestly don't know. I think the Pacers have the ability to win at home 2 times in a row and really put OKC with their back against the ropes. They play with such energy in that building. The shots that they miss on the road, they don't miss those shots in that building. So OKC is going to have to contend with the fact that there may be a lot of 3 balls dropping tonight that weren't dropping in game 2.
Yeah.
The Pacers get the same looks that they always get. They've got 9 guys that are all live at all times. They just play the open guy as the shooter. Well, it leads to a little bit of inconsistency because all those guys have different skill levels. But from a defensive standpoint, you can't focus on one guy. And then the other thing is when 2 or 3 guys catch fire, you have absolutely no chance of beating the Pacers when one guy hits like 5 or 6 threes and he's not even a starter.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. So it'll just depend on, can they ride the momentum? And then for OKC, they have to do the same thing. They can't just throw the ball to Shea and be like, okay, we're on the road and we're going to shrink away from trying to score. Their bench has to try to match that activity and productivity.
Corey Williams, Arizona basketball legend, founder of the Tucson Summer Pro League. Make sure you go check him out every Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. until 3 at the Gregory School. Corey, appreciate everything you do for us here on Spears and Ali, and more importantly, appreciative of everything you do for our community here in Tucson, man. Thank you once again.
No problem, and I appreciate the Steelers signing Aaron Rodgers. This is going to be so much joke material this year for me and Ali. I'm looking forward to it.
And me too,
I
man.
mean, somebody's going to be happy. It's going to be me or you. I'm rooting for me.
Thanks a lot, Corey. Appreciate the time.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Bye.
All right, we got Weird Sports Wednesday coming up next. Stay tuned. Starting next Monday, we have the Summer of Fun contest. Every week, we're giving you guys a chance to win a different destination vacation for you and a friend or your significant other. You can listen on weekdays between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. for that keyword. And then once you hear that keyword, text it to 520-719-1490 for your chance to qualify for that trip. Get all the information and details on this event or on this contest by going to espntucson.com. Message and data rates may apply. All right, so now is time for Weird Sports Wednesday. Every single hump day, Andrew gives us something quirky, something interesting happening in the world of sports. It may happen in the United States. It may happen across the pond. Andrew, where are we at with Weird Sports Wednesday? What's on the docket?
This weekend, gentlemen, we are in Finland because this weekend, Sunday, I believe, the 15th, is the Finnish Hobby Horse Championships. Do you guys know what hobby horsing is?
No.
No idea.
You guys know what equestrianism is, obviously, right?
Yes.
Horse riding?
Yeah. Dressage, show jumping, high jumping.
Yeah.
Well, imagine that inside an arena, and all the contestants are riding hobby horses, aka the sticks with a horse head on them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the Finnish hobby horsing championships famously are the largest ones in the world, annually drawing over 10,000 people to the Seinäjoki Arena in Seinäjoki. 10 competitive disciplines, 100 vendors in the 2-hall marketplace, show jumping, dressage classes, live performance, social events, tons of hobby horse camaraderie. $20 or 20 euros at the gate. Kids under 3 get in free.
So people got a stick between their legs with a horse head, and they're just like running around and doing jumps and stuff like that.
And dressage and everything that you would imagine to see at an equestrian event like the Olympics, but minus the horses.
So it's more about the person, right? Like your athleticism.
Well, there's no horse.
Obviously. That's what I'm saying.
It's not the stick.
Yeah. So do they like test like how high you jump?
Yeah.
Or
it is literally the exact same thing as like imagine an Olympic equestrian event, except everyone's just riding hobby horses. And people will like trade the hobby horses, sell hobby horses. You have like artisans there making and selling.
Oh man, your hobby horse is made out of oak?
Yeah, dude, for real.
Look at that finish on that horse.
Yeah.
It sounds like this is something devised from drunkenness. You know, it'd be really funny.
Yeah. To be fair,
remember when we were 6 and we played cowboys? Let's do that as grown adults.
Yeah.
With a horse and just
let's sell out an arena.
Yeah. To be fair, most of the competitors in the event are young girls, ages like 10 to 20. But they're still the adult ones.
But I'm also thinking like, okay, it's based off of like athleticism. Lauri Markkanen, he's Finnish, right? He's from Finland. He's 7 foot tall, super athletic. Imagine Lauri Markkanen with a fake horse between his legs, jumping out the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely stupid.
And you can watch it on YouTube.
Not trying to judge. I don't know. But I do know. Dumb. Of all the things you came up with, you've come up with some good stuff since we started this weird Wednesday sports thing. This one, the most asinine I've heard.
This one's a strange one for sure, but it's popular. I mean,
dumber than running down a 50-degree hill after a roll of cheese.
They sell out a 10,000 seat. They would pack out the TCC with this event in Seinäjoki,
Finland. Get it. What?
Isn't that wild?
When I was at the U of A, they had intramural Quidditch. You'd have a broom between your legs.
Yeah.
You go and throw the soccer ball between the goals.
We'll talk about Quidditch soon enough.
That's I think Team Go Get a Girlfriend was the winner, right?
Hey, people got their thing.
I got a good one for you guys next week too.
Can't wait for next week's Weird Sports Wednesday, and that'll do it for Wednesday's episode of Spears and Ali. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and comment the Spears and Ali podcast. See you guys tomorrow, same time, same place.
Hufflepuff. Omaha.